guys? What's crack-a-lackin'? What is crack-a-lackin'? Can somebody give me a 5 for 5 and we'll go ahead and get started? I'll say hi while I'm waiting on that. Hey, everybody. Thank you for all the prayers and stuff, considering what happened the other day. 2 days ago. I was going to do a live stream yesterday, and I just could not get it done, guys. Just too many things going on. Sorry about that. I was going to put one up in the middle of the night, and I don't like doing that because it throws everything off and all that kind of stuff. But if important stuff's happening, I will be here at 2 o'clock in the morning if I need to be. I've done live streams multiple times middle of the night. So that actually used to be my preferred time to upload because my family, is in bed and stuff, and I didn't really want to take time from them to do this. But anyway, are we 5 for 5? Yes. Good. So, I am going to go ahead and get started. Hi to everybody in there. Thanks to everybody that's becoming a member. Anybody gifted memberships, thank you. I'll stop about halfway through and give you guys a shout out again and check on. We'll do a roll call about halfway through. But until then, I'm going to stick to the space weather. That way we can try to accommodate everybody that's here and trying to respect their time. I get it. Life happens, and we're all just completely busy. What you're looking at there, guys, is an SDO image. This is a movie tool. Obviously, I show you guys this satellite all the time. You can see the flares. Okay. Now, I'm showing you this because of basically that. These things, the flares are not stopping. And if you remember about a week ago, I was telling you guys that the sun was just crazy all over the place. I don't want to say crazy. It's very active, okay, on all sides. So that's what I'll say on that. And this is kind of showing you guys what I meant by that. Now, we know that they use the seismic activity on the sun. Now, there's a new technique that they're using, a newer one. It's been around for a minute now. But they're starting to get fairly good with it. Actually, it's fairly accurate now. But they can map out what the back side of the sun looks like by looking at seismic activity on the sun. Yes, the sun has, sunquakes, I guess, is what that would have to call that, I guess. I don't know exactly the proper verbiage on that or the vocabulary, but so we're able to do that. Plus, we do have SOLO out there. SOLO, SOLO. Okay, it's the solar orbiter. Okay, and it's up there. The European agency. That's the European agency's satellite, and it hangs out in the back a lot. So, during this last, I don't know, a week before all this stuff started happening, we had 3 flares on the back that were probably, one of them was the biggest of the sun cycle. It was an X14, and how do we know that? Well, because that satellite was back there, and it's got instruments on it to detect X-ray. It got hit by it. So, if that satellite was anywhere at all on the backside, X-rays go out in all directions. Okay, it's light. It's not like a CME that's actually has like a good chunk of mass with it, charged particles. It's more directed, right? So it can miss satellites. Well, anything that flashes on this side of the sun is going to hit Earth in a flare form. Okay, that's what happens. It's here in about 8 minutes. When you're looking at the sun, it's what the sun looked like 8 minutes ago when you go outside and look up. So just keep that in mind. Again, X-rays are basically traveling at the speed of light, all that. I'm not going to get into all details on that. But just understand that anytime it flashes on the backside, there's a good chance that there's something back there with the detector on it that can at least pick up X-ray. And, but the seismic technique that they're using now, they can actually map out where the sunspots are. So, and they're getting really close. But when I started seeing those flares, and remember, guys, I showed you guys this image here too, and the whole sun would flash, but we wouldn't see anything on this side. That's a real good indication that something flashed on the backside, fairly large. So, and all that was happening all at the same time. So that all pointed us to, hey, hey, we got stuff going on the backside. We better pay attention. That kind of thing. So, and yes, we did get a geomagnetic storm, and we're heading for more. So, just let me show you what's going on here, because this is going to take a little bit of explaining to you what's happening. All right, now, if you remember last time during my life, well, see, look, we are now geomagnetic storm right here, last 3 hours. Looks like we're back out of it already. Okay, this is what we would expect with these, how can I say this? I don't want to downplay it or overplay it either, and I don't think that the hit that we're taking right now is a massive one, but it's not something we should ignore either, okay? So we're getting hit with multiple CMEs, and it makes it very hard to forecast. It makes it very hard just to even know what's going on here. Even like signatures like this on the X-ray flux, this is how we measure flares, right? A, B, C, M, and X. So, and then that corresponds with radio blackouts, storms. But you see how that went up and stayed level? Now, there's a lot of reasons for that. It could be multiple sunspots on this side just staying bright, right? Because it's always producing X-ray. If you're seeing a bright spot on the sun, that's producing X-ray. And X-ray is how we measure flares. But when we get the stronger flashes, that's what we call a specific solar flare, right down to a sunspot, and we can go look at it, right? But the detectors can't really point out where that X-ray is coming from. It only knows it got hit with X-ray. And because X-ray goes out in all directions, it's hard to pinpoint that unless you have a visual. And that's why we look at SDO. Okay? So that's a little rundown there. But you can definitely tell here, guys, geomagnetic storming, I mean, we didn't stay in it very long. Now, and that's why a lot of us out here weren't making some big, huge deal like it was going to be this, that, and the third. I was telling you guys, hey, we got stuff coming. It's going to get interesting. That's exactly the words that came out of my mouth. And it did. It's interesting because we had some stuff going on here, and it wasn't like, and you guys never heard me say anything like grid down or anything like that. I mean, I'm just not going to say that unless I absolutely think that that's what's going to happen. And I knew that this one was not that way yet, okay? And it's still not. So don't get scared over anything like that. So, you know, we got to be real, because if we're not real when it's time to be real, nobody will listen. And that's the sad fact of the matter. And you guys can pick out whoever you want to pick out on YouTube, and you know, guys, I mean, come on. There's a lot of people out there just boom, 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 playing everything up. It just happens. I get, you know, trying to, because even in my thumbnails, I try to grab somebody's attention, right? So there is a little bit of leeway there just to try to grab somebody, but you don't want to go as far as to use it as straight clickbait, because number one, you're bringing somebody in here that you're really not even going to, basically the thumbnail is a lie. That's what it ends up being if it's clickbait. Now, if you talk about what's on the thumbnail and you're real about that, that's different. That's a different thing. Okay? But when you like just blatantly put something on the thumbnail and you don't even talk about it at all on purpose, I got to question what you're doing. And that's, you know, and again, guys, I don't go shouting out anybody's name or anything like that negatively. I won't do that. We don't even allow that in the chat here, even if you guys think I don't like them. We don't allow that. It won't stay in the chat. It's just one of our chat rules. It just brings drama, and it doesn't put forth what we need to be doing. So anyway, I wanted to point that out because you're getting a lot of that right now because of what's happening. And that's the only reason why I talked about that. All right, so here's the sun. I might show this on Helio Viewer here in a minute just so you get a ratio of how big the Earth is compared to these sunspots. But just to give you a rule of thumb here, that's about the size of the Earth. You can fit one Earth inside there, okay? So you can kind of, you know, see what's going on here. Now remember, when this sunspot was kind of becoming, during its evolution, when it was over here, it was like 3 separate cores, and that was it. And I kept telling you guys, hey, we got to watch that thing and see if it starts to become complex. And it did. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but it started to become complex. You get those negative and positive areas swirling around each other. What happens? You get the reconnection points, and you get flares. So, yeah. Hey, what's up, Steven? You got a question? I just seen that. Oh, you're here. Hey, Ron, good to see you, brother. I didn't see you in the members only stream the other day, man. I hated that you weren't there. Hope between the dreams. What's up? What's up, Bill? Okay, let me keep moving. So anyway, all of that. Now I'm going to show you this, and this is a in-little spiral model. This is Noah's version of it. They updated this on the 29th, so we're going to get to see. Now the conditions are here is what they would have expected at Earth, right? The green line up here. This is density, and this is speed, velocity. So, and I also want to give a shout out to Team with the Sco. She did an awesome video, short to the point. I mean, just bam, bam, there it was. It was great stuff. It really was, and it happened during the tornado warning. I believe she was live when I was, ducking and bobbing and weaving, because I put a community post out while I was during that tornado warning. But anyway, I'll talk about that here in a minute. But go check that live stream out. It was, she explains everything that's going on here, obviously better than I can. But please go check that out. Like I said, I made a community post and put the link in the community post. So hopefully you guys go over and check that out. But guys, look at that. Okay, now I haven't often been able to show you something that looks like that. Now, back during the G5 storm we had back in May, yes, we've seen very similar things to this. There's a difference, okay? And I want to point out one of the biggest differences here. One of the biggest differences is the speed at which these things are traveling, okay? These are not moving at breakneck speed. The 1-2 punch, or basically a third punch, happened back in May. It was moving faster than what they thought. It got here before they thought it was going to. Okay? So that was one of the main reasons why that was a little bit stronger than what we're seeing right now. Well, actually a lot stronger. But as you can see that, guys, I mean, just look at that. It's just CME after CME after CME after CME. These are not glancing blows. These CMEs are hitting us directly. Okay? There's probably a couple of them. But everybody's been talking about this cannibal CME too. Yes, this is a cannibal CME. But please don't get it twisted like everything just one eats it from behind. It's more of a combination, and it really doesn't even fully combine. Because of magnetics, it's almost impossible for that to happen. But the reason why we talk about a cannibal CME is the CME in the front typically will have to be moving slower than the ones behind it. Okay, because the ones behind it have to catch up to it. So the one in front acts as a wall. And then the ones behind it are like a shovel pushing charged particles or snow, right? And it's a snowplow effect, and it rolls up. And then it gets in between those two CMEs, and that's one of the reasons why they really can't just become one CME. Essentially, that's what we get when they fully do get that close, but they have to be really close for that to happen. And typically, though, when they hit us, we're not far enough out away from the sun that typically when we get these things, there's a small space in between those two CMEs that acts as another shock wave, or essentially another CME, because all that stuff's getting piled up. But this was a triple, right? This is 2 or 3 CMEs doing it right there. So it was a very significant thing. And, we got the G1 storms. Now, I'll go over why we didn't get too much more than that yet. We got more coming. It's not stopping. So I just wanted to show you this just so you guys can get a better understanding of what's actually happening here. And I will talk about here in just a minute. But when these things are hitting, essentially what's happening is right here during this first initial hit, it's clearing out a lot of the particles. So it's leaving just a blank slate for whatever's behind it. Now that can be good, that can be bad, it can be all those things, right? So I'll just leave it at that. I'm not even going to say if it's going to be good or bad. All I'm saying is when these things are happening, it's pulling particles with it. So the density is going to lessen right here, okay, after these things pass through. And that's exactly what we've seen. And as I'm talking about that, I'll show you that. So I took these recordings back during the time that this was happening. Okay, this is our magnetopause. Well, hold on. This is what's happening right now. This is the current model. Okay, I'll just hit play on all these real quick to let them load. Velocity up here. Obviously, you can see like kind of our magnetopause kind of explode out right there. That's that rapid expansion we talk about. We get hit from the left, it compresses our magnetic field, and then we get rapid expansion of our magnetic field, magnetopause pushing out against it. Okay, so our bow shock, our first point of contact, will compress in, and then when we kind of win that battle for a little while, it'll just push out further than what a nominal state would be for our bow shock, a normal position for it, okay? And then it'll kind of try to settle back in. Well, it's not given what's going on right now. We don't have enough time for it to settle back into nothing, okay? Things are just hitting. And, you know, that can, again, that doesn't mean it's going to be bad or good. It can mean both, honestly. It really can. But this is density. Notice the white is very, very low density. We still don't have a whole lot of dense particles hanging around. Okay, but you can see clearly because right there is your bow shock basically out here. Okay, but you can see when stuff gets through because the density increases. See that? So on this side, that's gotten through our bow shock. So the particles are more dense right there, and it's compressing whatever particles were between this and Earth. Okay, it's compressing everything there, so it's also going to cause the density to go up. So keep that in mind. So all these things are happening at once, right? And you can even see the tilt of our magnetic field over here, because we get this typical tail shape and the shape out here in the front. So if you just put a center point and pointed, look, so it's pointing down towards the negative right now. You see that? Let me show you the Discover graph here. Where are we at right now? We're in the negative. We're in -6 right now. Okay? That's the threshold we look for. That's what I'm talking about with our magnetic positioning. Okay? When I say the BZ, that's pretty much what you're looking at right there on that model. So when we're pointed that direction, if the CMEs that are hitting are the opposite, it'll draw it in. But if they have the same orientation, if they're not pointing the right direction, we deflect it. It helps deflect it. Okay? So that's exactly what happened. So if I take you back over here to the Discover data, look at this. See, we went straight to like this, right down the middle, 0. Now I'm going to take us back a couple days, at least another day. Well, it makes me do 3 days. But during all that happening, we were only in -6 when this first started happening. We went straight to a geomagnetic storm pretty quick, like. But then look what happened to the VZ. It went back positive. This right here is why. Okay? This is why we did not get much further than that. So I want you guys to understand that, because things were still happening. Density went up. Velocity was going up. Okay? Now look what happened once these things flushed out. Nothing. Zero density. Now, I think the models, when I said in the thumbnail that these, I think some of the satellites might have went into safety mode, because that's what happens. They go into safe mode. But I'm kind of reconsidering that now after looking at all this, after I posted my thumbnail. Sorry about that. But it still did affect our satellites. Some of them went into safety mode. Even right now, because Soho, I checked on ISWA, I checked on the Soho site, I checked on Seeds. The data's stopping right around 11 o'clock. That's today. So typically, if it's only site wide, like one website, usually the data's still there. So you got to go check other sites. Well, it's stopping at the exact same time on the other sites too. So that kind of points to, hey, we got a data issue. Is what I'm trying to say. We just don't have the data. Now, it'll probably get plugged back in once because sometimes the data gets corrupted and they got to fix it. And that's what happens. So when they're transferring all the data through. So just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about there, here's Earth, here's Soho, right? There's 1 million miles between us and that satellite. So when it gets its data, it's got to transfer it back to the Earth. Well, if there's a CME in this vicinity right now, what happens? It gets all distorted and everything else. Things happen. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's out here with no protection from our magnetic field at all. It's past our magnetic field. It's not getting protection from us at all. So any solar wind that's happening, any CMEs, when it comes right at Earth, this is really our first warning. This is where we go to look for our first warning, because it takes about an hour from there before it hits the Earth. So it gives us a little leeway where we can actually look at the raw data if it was real time. And we don't get to see real time data, so yeah. At least we kind of do on some things. But a model, you're not going to get a model that's real time. You'll be hard pressed to find one. Okay. So, anyway, let me go back to this. This is what happened the other day. Okay? Well, on the 31st, earlier today. So I'm going to push play. I want you to look at how strange this is. This is going to look really strange. Okay? Remember, the darker reds are the faster, the faster wind speeds. So are the dark blues. They're just moving in opposite directions. So we push play here. Let's see if it gives us anything here. See how that's kind of like jumping? Okay? What's happening there, it's jumping time. Let me pause this stupid thing again. So if I take it back to right there, okay? So it jumps time twice, I think. Yep. Because we get an image every minute on this thing. So watch the timestamp. It jumped about a half hour there. Then it jumped almost an hour right there. So what's happening there is most likely it was experiencing some sort of glitch or something. And it could have been from the CMEs, most likely. And it could have went into safety mode. Sometimes they detect the satellites that's giving us this data will detect something hitting, and it'll go into safety mode. But see how that kind of did that? Now, that's the velocity. You're going to see it really, really well here. And the reason why is because this is the magnetic pressure. Notice how no pressure whatsoever. At all. Zero. Now, when I see that, I question it during Solar Max. But given what just happened, I think that might actually be a real representation of what's going on right there. So let me back this up. Now watch what happens here. Right when the time jumps, boom. Do you see that? That right there is a clear glitch. Okay? So, right? Well, I didn't go back far enough, did I? Okay, we'll do it again. Okay, so let me move it back. You see that red flash? Right there. Okay? So you don't go from that blue straight to that red like that. That is a glitch. It's a flash. It glitched. If you look at the timestamp, it's lining up with the other ones when they were doing the same thing. Okay? So whatever's going on here, this is a glitch. So don't take, don't sit there and let somebody tell you that this is, things are going down, run for the hills type of thing. This isn't what this is. Okay? So anyway, there you go with that. I wanted to show you guys that because that was interesting to me that happened. I think I've seen it once or twice before like that. But here's the density. Watch this density. Okay, did you see that? Keep in mind the timestamp. The timestamp's jumping. So we're missing data when that jumps. See how it just like in 1 second, that flash like that? Those are glitches, guys. That doesn't happen in real life. Okay? That is not a real representation of anything. That's just jumping time, things coming back online, that kind of thing. Okay? A lot of times we don't get to see these because when that's happening, they'll get in there and they'll take out the corrupted data. So even that just looks so weird to me. But yeah, I don't think that's a true representation of what was going on there. Okay? And that's just my opinion. People can have whatever opinion they want. I'm not going to argue with any of that. But so what do we got going on? Well, first off, guys, give me a roll call if you would. Hey, Ripper. Sweet, dude. That's awesome. You gonna post that on your Rip Curl readiness at the range? If you do, let me know, and I'll throw out a link. Hey, Miss V. Hey, Linda. Redneck Prepper, what's up? What's going on, buddy? All right, Christine, what's happening? Guys, give me a roll call in there if you would, wherever you're from. This regional. Texas, what's up, Linda? Everything's bigger in Texas, right? 2 equipment batteries failed. Okay. Hey, Grace, good to see you. Mama J, what's happening in Oregon? What we got? West Central Minnesota, USA. Aaliyah, Northern Carolina, baby. Or California, baby. I think Daryl call it, somebody calls it California. Cracks me up. Cracks me up. You guys crack me up on that. Sergeant Dog, Boston. Cheryl, what's up? See us. Hope Between Dreams, what's up? Amber Bees in Texas. Cajun Reds in Oklahoma. Mama Sap, Canada, Norfolk, Georgia. Ruth, what's up? Bill McMongos in South Carolina. Come on down. You're the next contestant on the CME channel. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, Markham Bend, Chattanooga. Awesome. I think I knew you were in Chattanooga there, brother. I really do. Menacing, what's up? Northern Canada. Oh, Kansas ain't here. Okay, cool. Gotcha. Southern Oregon, Rippers in the hizzy. And again, guys, like I said, this is the first time I'm stopping, and it'll be the last time I stop until I get to the end of the video. But thanks to all the newer members and anybody else that's been gifting memberships. I haven't seen Deep Quake in here, but he gifts a lot of memberships. So a lot of you guys got memberships because of him. And A. Ron's in here. Thank you, brother. Miss V's in the house. And just anybody else. Genius by birth, she gives some. And anybody that has just got a membership on their own. I'm not trying to say anything like that. You guys are just as important as anything else. And thank you for that. I know it's a sacrifice for everybody when you do that. And it's, yeah, you guys are awesome. I mean, it just really, truly is. So I'm humbled by it, and thank you. So, okay. So let's get moving here. And I do plan on doing another members-only stream sometime this weekend. Already did one a couple days ago. Hey, Ripper, check your Telegram if you would. I haven't checked my messages here in a few minutes. But anyway, guys, I would look for us to get into some more geomagnetic storming here very shortly. If we're not there already, we're going to be there. Yep, look. Wow. Okay. With that happening like that, we are getting hit again. Okay? That's happening right now as I'm speaking to you. Okay? So with that being said, that's probably not going to hang out at a 5. That's probably going to go up. As a matter of fact, I think they're forecasting it to be at least a G2. Yeah. See this? They're forecasting this to get to at least a G2. Now, whether it goes further or doesn't make it there, I don't know yet. We just got to wait. Okay? But notice how we got all these other things coming. All right? Hey, Barbie. Sweet. Glad you're here. Glad you made it. Earthquake Paul's in the house, baby. All right. Enough of that. Let me get away from the chat for a minute, guys. I'm trying to respect everybody here because I know I get this bashed. Anyway, and it's legit half the time. Well, majority of the time. Now, I will say, look, this last reading, our BZ went positive again. So, you know, and the phi angle flip. That's the solar wind polarity. So, you know, we could be done with that geomagnetic storm, or it could be more coming. Notice how everything's reacting. Everything's moving still. Density, everything's moving. So, again, we're at G1 right now. If we get to G2, it would not surprise me on the outside of it to maybe get to a G3. But chances are we're probably going to hang around top end G1, maybe G2. Oh, thank you, AA Ron. You're awesome, brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Let me look at that. I can't see your icon, and I've probably asked you this before, AA Ron. I'm assuming that you're a guy. Now, I know that there are some girls named Aaron, so, or AA Ron, however you want to put it. Let me know if you would. I'm not afraid to ask that. I would rather ask that than to continually call you by the wrong gender there. So if you would, please let me know. And thank you for the gift of memberships. Whoever got them, tell them, hey, thank you. Really? That's interesting. Hey, Ripper, I want to talk to you about that communication system you were talking about, too, earlier. Me and my son's going to get some of those. I want to, I forget the name of it, but we are going to get some of those. We're going to try to start something here with that, just so you know. I'm going to try to involve you and Jammer and Eileen, everybody else, whoever wants to be involved, really. So, anyway, if you could, throw me a text, let me know what the name of that was again. I forget what it was called. Anyway, so let's go ahead and update these models right here. And because we are getting hit, let's look at the magnetic pressure there. Okay, yeah, so we're getting hit right there. And, you know, again, it's probably not going to look all massive. Okay, because again, remember guys, if it's clearing all the particles out like it did, like I showed you guys, there's nothing for it to push. So the shock wave may not be as intense. So anything you get hit with the CME from after that happens is coming directly from the CME, most of it. You got to think of the Earth going through space like a boat going through water. And when the CMEs are coming at you, that's another, well, you could call them missiles, I guess, maybe torpedoes. But really, it's like another boat, and it shoots wave. It's got a wake. And I've talked about that at nauseum, but I'll still continue to talk about it. All right, so let's check out the geoelectric field. Now, seismic activity is probably going to increase. Well, it already has. I think Ron was live, was getting ready to get off of his live stream when I started over at Emergency Management Associates. Ron's a really good guy, guys. Isaiah's granny's over there. Ricky's over there a lot. Guys, please go check it out. He's a really good dude. He's a good friend of mine. So if you guys could go check him out over at Emergency Management Associates. And I would say this too, guys. Anytime that you guys, if I'm live during anybody else's shows, you're not going to hurt my feelings by coming back and watching the replay. Okay? Especially if it's somebody like Adam or Rip or Ilea. Anybody else, Trinity. You know, Trinity's been posting quite a bit. Trinity Red Pill, Blue Pill. Please go check out her channel. It's really cool stuff. So much interesting deep dive she does. And she does a really good job with it. And if you want to know anything about pew-pews and prepping, get over to Ripper's channel. Both of them. Rip Curl Readiness and Rip Curl Readiness at the Range. Looks like he just got a new suppressor and got his license or card or approved to be able to use it, I guess. I don't know what it takes for that. I don't have one of those. Never had to do that. I've got pew-pews, but not... I don't have the suppressor stuff. But yeah, guys, so this is the geoelectric field at the surface. Geomagnetism directly affects this, and vice versa. The normal color is right around here in this blue. So when you see this acting up like that, that means we're taking some sort of hit. They're trying to show you space weather's effect on unnatural electrical components. Wall switches, wires, your car battery, any of that. Anything that's not natural, it's trying to show you what's going on there, how it's being affected. Now, why do we need to do that? It's doing other things too. It's giving them more data on other things, like seismic activity. This is one of the things that they're trying to bridge a gap between space weather and the forecasting of earthquakes. And this is a great thing. Unfortunately, we don't have it for the rest of the world. Canada just got on board with us about a year ago on this. So I've been showing you guys this model now for over 2 years, I think. But I showed you when it was in its infant stage, and half of it wasn't working. So if you guys go back and look, you'll see that. And it was beyond me that people didn't, some of the people that report on this stuff didn't know that that was even happening. And I wish that they did, because they're smart. A lot of those guys are smarter than what I am and would understand this a little bit better. And I might have been able to learn a little quicker. But anyway, this is that's what's happening there. It's not something so intense right now, so I'm not going to sit there and just kind of harp on that. It does look like our BZ is heading back down towards the south again. It went up to 5, and this is normal, guys, when we're getting hit. Okay, so we'll just have to keep that in mind. So let's go over here to seeds, and unfortunately, you see this timestamp 11/12 on the 31st. Watch this, guys. I hate it when it's doing this. I do. I really, truly do. Because I tried to go find this data elsewhere, and it's just nowhere. The data's not getting put out yet. This is an occulter disk, and we're getting more eruptions. Okay? So let me show you this last eruption, because that actually happened in the danger zone. Okay? But we know, and then there's another one, that happened at the turn of the day. That's a physical disk. Remember where this satellite is. It's 1 million miles closer to the sun. Always looking at it. Okay? So, with that being said, I want to show you guys some things here on SDO, because that's all I can do. I can't show anything else because that Soho's not showing anything. Now, I can show you the coronagraphs and stuff on, like, well, I think SDO might have some coronagraphs. I'm not sure. I don't think it does. It might. I don't know. But I know that Stereo A has got some coronagraphs, so we can look at that too if we need to. But did you see that one right there? Okay. And this is why I was pointing these out 3 days ago, before they even crested over the limb. These are the ones that were producing those big gigantic X flares, guys. To be completely 100 with you guys, I was more concerned about these coming into view than these that were already shot stuff at us. And I'm just being honest there. Notice there was another eruption there. Things are not stopping, is what I'm trying to tell you. And it's not going to. At least not for the next week or so. It may last longer than that. I don't know. But this is a constant flash. I'm not even going to stop it and show individual flares here. And some of these are producing CMEs, some of them aren't. But after the 31st, after 11 o'clock, we don't have any coronagraph data right now. So I can't confirm if it has CMEs or not. Because we need to really have coronagraph or data at least to look at. Okay? So I just wanted to point that out. So, Oops, I hit the back button there, didn't I? I didn't mean to do that. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Because of that, let's look at this. I do want to show you this because this is the magnetogram, and it's going to be the colorized version so we can see positive and negative in the sunspots. And it helps us understand how complex these sunspots are becoming. Remember I said positive and negative swirling around, right? That's when we get the flares. So what I'm going to do here, these are the ones that are already passing us, and they've been hitting us, right? So let me grab this. Now, you see how those started swirling with each other there? Now, watch the ones here on the left. Okay? You see how the reds and blues are already close together? Now, we can't see it very well yet, but in this one here is actually a pretty big spot. The core there is like pretty decent size. Now, there's something called the parallax effect when looking at a sphere straight on from a distance. Things that are on the side are going to appear to be smaller than what they actually are. You know, like when you look in your rear view mirror, things appear closer or further away than what they actually are, that kind of thing. The parallax effect is a real thing. Now, with the sun, it makes it a little bit more difficult to understand if it's parallax effect or if they're actually growing. Okay? And also, I want to address something here too. We don't have sunspots morphing throughout the day. Okay, that's not happening. Sunspots do move and change a little bit throughout the day, but they're not going from the top of the sun to the bottom. Just so you know. Okay? What you're seeing there, if you don't have an equatorial mount on your telescope or your camera, you're seeing field rotation. Okay, what they do is this image, they keep it vertical for you, because if they were to try to show you what it looked like from Earth, they would have to do that for every latitude position on the planet individually, because that's what the main driver of field rotation is you're standing in that spot. The sun's not moving, we are. That's what I tried to explain this to people 1,000 times. So when you look at this, and if you were to go outside like right now, like at dusk, this sunspot here may be over here. But you can confirm what I'm saying by taking this right here. Well, better yet, let me do this. Let's go to this. And I just need 1 or 2 images here just to show you what's up. Come on, load, would you? I'm impatient, sorry. And that's really not the one I wanted either, but this one will work too. See these sunspots? If you take it to the latest day here, well, so if you went outside at whatever time this is, where's the time? Yeah, right there's the time stamp for you. Okay? And you looked at the sun. This sunspot may be over here. And you might think, oh my gosh, that's weird. Well, everything else moved with it. Not just the one sunspot. That's why when people say, hey, we got sunspots just morphing all over. No, the whole sun appears to turn because of field rotation. And they can't show you field rotation because they would have to do it for each individual latitude. It would be different for every one of us. That's impossible to do, guys. Impossible. So that's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, let's move from that. I don't want to get stuck on that. But just remember that, okay? So if you were to like superimpose that image and turn it, you can make it match to what you see. That's what I'm trying to say. Alright, so back to the discovered data here real quick. Yeah, it does look like it's going back negative again. So we could, now guys, this is the HP. And actually the HP actually dipped a little bit. Okay, so we may just be in a G1. We may get to G2. If that continues that kind of trend, we're going to be hanging out around the G1, G2 level. Notice that they're not showing storm level here because I just showed you a 30-minute increment. What they're showing you here is a 3-hour plot. Okay, but this here, I think they update that almost real time. So the latest observed, you're going to see right here. Now, this might say G2 or G3 sometimes, but right, and then it'll say 24-hour maximums. They use their 3-hour plot points for that, I think, if I'm correct. If they don't, I'll correct myself later, or somebody can correct me, but I'm pretty sure that that's how that works. And look, guys, see? Last go C2, 11:42. Last go C3, I mean. So there you have it. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to show you guys something. I want y'all listen to this, okay? I'm not sure how loud this is, so if it's too loud, let me know. This is my, I'm going to take you guys. This is my live stream from the other day. So listen to what happened. What? Okay. I'll rotate it. Y'all hear that? That was my daughter sticking her head in here because we were under a tornado warning. And I want to say something real quick. I did not do the right thing. I was not a very good example of what should be happening. Okay? Because if you guys were here for this live stream, I started saying, hey guys, did you hear my storm sirens going off? Sometimes they'll fire them things when we're just under like a thunderstorm warning. If it's, they don't typically do that, but usually it has to be a tornado warning. But whenever I hear them, and my phone didn't go off. That's what was weird. My phone didn't go off. Typically my phone will just start blasting. Oh, tornado warning, run for the hills. You know, that kind of thing. That didn't happen. My weather radio that I got from Ryan Hall. Guys, if you don't know who Ryan Hall is, you're probably under a rock. But Ryan Hall, go check out his channel. He now casts weather. It's the best weather on the internet, in my opinion. But I stole that term from him. Nowcasting. I now cast space weather. He does regular weather. But you know, I'm not going to sit here and say I can forecast with anybody because I can't. I got good ideas of what's going to happen, but I'm still just not that confident to do that. So I just show you what's going on, what I think might be going to happen, and point you to what other people are saying is going to happen. So I'll just leave it at that. Now, so that happened the other day, guys. I just want to let you guys know, thank you for your prayers and your thoughts, because Mist even was typing in there, hey, you know, Mark's son stuck his head in here and said they got rotation. That's exactly what she said right there. Let me take it back a little bit. Wasn't my son, it was my daughter, which, you know, that is a here nor there. Let's listen to this again. What? Okay. I'll rotate this. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. I just think that's just so typical for my household right there. She was so concerned about me. She come running up the steps to get me. And I feel bad because when she was running up the steps, she face planted on the top step. And yeah, it hurt her. I felt really bad. So even that kind of stuff, I should have already been there. I should have killed my stream when the sirens popped, and I should have just came back later on if I had power. So I do apologize for that really, really poor example of what to do during stuff like that, because that was such a bad thing for me to do. I should have immediately just killed it and went, and I didn't. So yeah. Now Mark Wages at the age of 18 would have probably been there before anybody else, because I used to be deathly afraid of thunderstorms. But I've since then kicked that fear. I love them now. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out, guys. Yeah, I know, Eileen. I felt so stinking bad. And I was. That was such a bad example of me. Not just set for everybody listening to me, but for her and my other kids that were here, my wife. Just a bad example all around. I failed right there. That's an example of Wages World failing right there. And I'm not afraid to admit that. So, if it happens again, it ain't going to happen like that, just so you know. Okay, so what they're forecasting, guys. Let's go look at their forecast, the official forecast here. Now, this is always going to change a little bit. When they get new data, they will change it. Okay? So, G1, G2, August 1st. August 2nd, they're saying nothing, but we also had a lot of stuff going on here. So, August 1st, 2nd, we should be seeing stuff from right around the 31st from the 30th. So any of these actually could be hitting on the first. Well, no, that's the first here. So it'd have to be back on the 29th to the 30th for us to get hit on the 2nd, I think. Oh, 30th. Yeah. About the 30th, I would say. So anything happening back here on the 30th, maybe to here, typically that's going to take 3 days to get here. So, but anyway, guys, I am going to go ahead and end it. Thank you guys again for if you guys got any questions, fire them in there. But we're going to get together either later on this weekend for members only. My daughter's Friday is State Fair Day for her. That is her big competition. It's their Super Bowl. We're expecting bad thunderstorms, but even at that, they'll probably still get it in. So after that, my life will slow down a little bit. What that means is I'll be able to be here more consistent time. Now, I've been here almost every day, okay? But my time frames have been jumping around. But anyway, I just want to point that out. Hey, Butterfly, thank you. Anybody, please come back and leave a comment underneath there. I'm getting about 40 or 50 comments a show. And if I could get that to 100, 200 comments, and hit the like button too. It really does matter. It helps push it out. So please do that for me if you would. And if you want to become a member, please do. We have a lot of fun. We call it the Kool-aid Krew, because I used to be called Blue Kool-Aid. And, we get in there and we have fun. We truly do. We're planning on having a movie night. I'm going to try to find some movie everybody likes, and we're going to do that. I give away cards. I'm going to give away a deck of cards. I was going to gift a membership tonight, but I'm going to wait till next live stream. That way everybody has a chance to get active in the chat. Hey, Christian, good to see you, Leisure. Good to see you. Leisure, do you have Telegram? If you do, I'm on there, okay? So hit me up on that if you would. Okay? Okay. So, anyway, here we go. Here we go. Don't you know? All right. God bless, guys. Yahusha saves. And as always, you can drink this Kool-Aid.